How do we let go of attachment to the people and things in our life? Well, we're going to talk about this morning. This is Tom Karen with the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness in San Diego, California, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Guys, welcome back. I got a big lesson today, a lot to unpack. I want to visit this idea of attachment. We've talked about it in many different ways. And really, we hit it very hard in terms of desire. If you remember, we talked about desire. Desire is good. We need to desire and determine what we want in our lives, right? And then we want to figure out how to attract that to us. Where does desire trip us up? When desire turns into attachment. When desire turns into an addiction, right? We get addicted or attached to our desire, and then we load it up with all this resistance, and then we push away what we really want, right? We're not going to get what we want because we're pushing it away by loading it up with this resistance. This is the idea that we talked about in reality transurfing, when we talked about what Vadim said in terms of intention. Replace your desire that's loaded up with intention and turn it into a pure intention. What's a pure intention? It's the intention to have, the intention to choose what you want, and then start moving towards it and letting the field of potential infinite possibilities lay it out for you, lead you on the path of least resistance. And so intention is clear. It's that it's knowing that you're connected to this divinity, knowing that you can have what you want out of life, and with that kind of certainty, moving towards it. It's when we get stuck in desire and wanting, and say, oh, it's not here yet, it's not here yet. You keep looking at your reality, seeing it's not here, loading it up with that not here yet, not having yet, not always wanting energy, and then so you keep your desire away from you. This is what we've been talking about. This is a form of attachment, right? And I pulled out some things from Conversations with God, Neale Donald Walsch. I want to talk about that this morning, how he goes about this. But you got to be careful. Anything what Neale Donald Walsch talks about in this book is that anything that we want, and if we didn't have it, we would be unhappy, is an addiction. So when your desires and even the things you have in life turn into an addiction, this is when you don't have it, it makes you unhappy. Now you're just a victim of those effects, right? We've got to get in control of we've got to decide, essentially, we've got to make a choice how we're going to feel about things. As opposed to reacting after, let's choose before how we're going to feel about things. This is where your power is, guys. We move mostly to a reactionary state. And why? Because we get attached to things. We get attached to certain outcomes, the way we think things should be. We're attached to emotions and feelings of experiences in the past. This is what keeps us stuck in the past. So when something comes up, a similar experience, we reach for those emotions that we've trained ourselves to feel. Oh, I feel negative about this, right? And so unless we're in this moment now and decide how we feel now, we don't have control. So I want to kind of move on in terms of that. The Bible said it, right? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. What was Jesus talking about? This comes from John 2:15. What was Jesus talking about here? Remember, Jesus would say, I am in the world, but I'm not of this world. Meaning what's real is that divinity inside us, what we're creating in that metaphysical space. That's where our thoughts and feelings are. That's where all our creative power is. That's where that love is. The things in the world are created by us. These are manifestations, a reflection to what we're thinking and feeling. So at any moment we can change those things and decide that. So your real power is that you're not that this world is imaginary. And this is the first point. Nothing in this world is real. A Course in Miracles says it, right? what I see is not there, or what I see is not real. What are they saying? Well, it looks real, right? You see it physically, you can touch it. Well, guys, here's the thing. Remember, we talked about the quantum field where electrons appear and disappear according to our attention of it. That everything is energy until we collapse it, until we collapse the wave into a material manifestation. This was the collapse of the wave function. So, what makes it real? We make it real by the effects on us. So, once we determine the effects, then we decide. But so the idea is to deny the effects of the inner effects on you, right? It's not that we're not saying that it's not that you're saying it's not there. You're saying the effects of you are not there. The effects on you are not there. You get to determine that, right? It's an illusion, right? And even if you remember from the Matrix, they kind of address that Neo, if he would ignore the bullets and not give that attention, they would disappear. This is the whole idea. This is the quantum field, what we're talking about. Okay. It's not that it's what we make real are the effects. We make it real by our attention to it. Right? If something that we consider, that we judge not by appearances, but that we judge to be bad, we make those effects up. Right? We're the ultimate causer, and we respond to our own effects. We talked about this in the mirror principle, staring in the mirror at our reflection. This is the dual mirror of the world, where the image is made in the metaphysical reality, and that's reflected back to you as physical reality. We get to decide. If you keep staring at the reflection, you keep staring at the reality, and then let that affect you, then you are not determining your relationship to the world. You determine your relationship to the world. This is what one is. Nothing in the world is real until you decide what your relationship to it is. Right? Your attention is what makes it real. If you remember that from the quantum side, right? The attention to those waves made it into a collapse into a particle. And then this leads us into the second point. The meaning of everything is the meaning I choose to give it. So you determine the meaning. Right? We just bounce around and think these reactions we have to things, these negative reactions that a lot of times we have to things, are normal. And that, I'm supposed to feel that way. This is negative. You get to decide. Remember, judge not by appearances. You get to decide what's good, how it's going to affect you, right? And even if it's a good effect, right? Even if it's a good thing, or what you experience is a good thing, you still get to choose, right? You still get to choose. And if you can look at it straight on as an illusion, then you can really enjoy it. Because what happens if you don't look at it that way? Even though it's a good effect, if that goes away, then you're going to feel bad. You're attached to it. So even the good stuff in our lives, if we're attached to it and it's taken away from us, it's an addiction, and then we feel bad. But if we look at even the stuff that we perceive as good and the stuff that we perceive as bad as an illusion, then we get to enjoy them or not enjoy them, have them in our experience and not have them in experience by determining what the effect is on us, what effect it will have on us. This is powerful stuff. Even the things that bring you joy. This is great, enjoy them, but if you get attached to them and they're taken away or something happens, and then you quickly start reacting into a negative way. Rather, know it's an illusion, know that you create it. You create the effects, and then you can determine what the relationship is, right? Guys, if it's a negative effect, once you take away that effect, the cause is gone, right? We talked about this in the law of reversibility. The law of reversibility of cause and effect. If I give you a bag of money, you will feel good. That's instant. But that means then that you can feel good and attract a bag of money, or you can, if you have the effect, you can attract the cause or create the cause. If you have the cause, you can create the effect. It's the law of reversibility. Same idea here. So you've got to change how you experience it. Whether it's good or bad, we've got to be in control of it, right? And then the third one, I am who I say I am, and my experience is what I say it is. Jesus said this, right? Who do you think I am? He said this to Peter. What was he talking about here? It's that we create that from that unconditioned consciousness. We get to decide. We get to condition ourselves on what state we want to be in from that unconditioned consciousness. That's why Jesus said that. That's the ultimate creation. We get to choose. And so instead of deciding how you're going to feel after something happens, right, or from the effect, you get to choose before. And then you become a real creator. You start creating the effects. This is what we talked about. This is also the mirror principles, right? You decide your relationship to the world, right? By creating an image that you want that's in the metaphysical space that reflects back into physical reality. Guys, it's the only way to get control. Otherwise, you're just going to be bouncing around, reacting to things, right? A lot of this comes from our reactions and placing importance, right? We place a lot of importance on these physical things in our reality. And then because they're so important to us, we get attached to them. And then because of that, we build up all of this, what we called in reality transfer, this excess potential that the universe has to balance out somehow, right? Because nature is about flow. And how does it balance out? If it's a positive attachment, you really want that thing, you lose it or it goes away from you. If you're trying to avoid something, it comes to you. This is what we've talked about in every way. So guys, even A Course in Miracles says, nothing I see is real. So the ancients have been saying it, the spiritual teachers are saying it right up to present day. Quantum physics supports this idea that everything is energy and it's a wave until we give our attention to it, until we put our mind, our thoughts and feelings on it, collapses the wave and it turns into a manifestation. The only reason we don't see it is because we're in this inner reality and it looks so real to us, but we're making it real. Now, when we say everything's an illusion, that means that it won't be there anymore. Well, it won't be in your experience. And that's really what we're creating here. You create your experience, what you're going to pull out from that infinite field. You create you. Yeah? So, nothing in the world is real. It's an illusion. We talked about this. We're creating it through our thoughts and feelings. The meaning of everything is the meaning I give to it. It's what you choose. You get to choose. And then you are who you say you are. I am who I say I am. I experience what I say I'm going to experience. This is the ultimate control, guys. And what we mean by that, I experience what I choose to experience, is you're the creator of your reality. So if something comes in, if you cross another life layer, something comes in that you didn't consciously choose, where you get to decide is your reaction to it, the effect it will have on you. Again, if you can, once you manage the effects, the cause goes away or goes out of your experience. Yeah? And if it's something, so either whether it's positive or negative, or what you consider positive or negative, or good or bad, it's still an illusion. And this is what we've got to get at. So you can still enjoy it and not get attached to it, and knowing that you can create again, you can choose again. Yeah? Big lesson this morning, guys. It ties into what we've been talking about. We'll hit this more, a lot more to come. This is what I wanted to give you to chew on this morning. Let's chew on this, and then until our next session, this is Tom Kieran with the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness in San Diego, California, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to hit the subscription button. That's a caricature of me with a headset. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And like the video and comment and share it, guys. That's how we get our message out, okay? This is Tom with Be Something Wonderful. Until next time.